Hey, it's Jake Mace, the vegan athlete here in my backyard. It's getting to be springtime. It's in the 80s now in the Phoenix area. And I'm so excited to show you guys an update of the seed bank box planting from last month. The seeds have been growing for a month. Let's go see how they look. And then we're gonna plant the new seed bank box right in front of you guys. This is gonna be March's box. Are you excited? Because I'm pretty excited. And I love growing things from seed because it's really exciting to see all that energy in the seed explode into delicious, healthy, edible goodness in my garden. I got the current seed bank box right here. I'm gonna put it aside. Let's do the update first, then we'll plant this together and we'll see what's inside. So stick with me. Maybe I should have my friends hold this because Greenie's garden is back.
What's up, guys?
They enjoyed last month so much planting my garden.
We're here again.
Yeah. And again, if you guys want to follow them, they're in the Phoenix area growing a garden as well. Check them out on Greenie's Gardens YouTube channel. My #1 pest in my yard are these little finchy birds, which I can hear right now. And the vegan part of me loves birds and wants to live in balance with all of nature. But the gardening part of me wants to kill those birds with every ounce of my being because they eat everything. So I have to net in my garden. So I built this kind of crude trellising system here, just enough to hold the snap peas and the beans coming up. I'm gonna take down the net right now and let me show you guys how the plants are doing after just 1 month in the ground. I'm so excited. I love growing from seed because since I've been gardening here at my home for the past many years, I just love the thought of how much potential energy is in that little seed and how one little seed can grow a 20, 30, 40 foot tall tree in such a short amount of time. So we have 2 different varieties of sugar snap peas that you guys saw me plant from seed last month. The link to watch that video is upper right hand corner right now or in the description and comments below. These are 2 different varieties of snow peas or sugar snap peas. These ones needed a trellis. These ones did not. They're more of a bush sugar snap pea. So these guys will be climbing up the trellis. The 2 leafy greens we had were the red leaf lettuce and the dinosaur kale. The dinosaur kale is doing pretty well, and this one will last into the summer for me. It can take the heat. But the red leaf lettuce, I'm gonna let grow into a nice little bushy plant and probably harvest it in about 2 months from now, sometime late April, early May before it bolts. And I'll leave 1 plant to bolt so I can harvest my own seeds for next season. So far in just 1 month, and it was actually kind of a chilly month. It was, lows in the lower 40s at night, highs in the 60s and 70s. So despite those colder temperatures, for the Phoenix area colder, I still got some good growth. So now that it's in the 80s during the day and in the 50s at night, the growth will explode. So next month when I do an update for you, this will be completely full. And then even though it's cold outside, it's still just the beginning of March, we were still able to get our moringa tree to sprout and a few of our yellow pear cherry tomatoes to grow into little plants. So now I'll be transplanting probably about the 5 best looking tomato plants here. And this will be my 10th moringa tree. I'll be transplanting them into my raised beds and into my garden so that they can grow bigger and stronger. So these guys I'll plant with you guys here on this video at the end. So stick with me to the end to see how I transplant them. But this moringa I'm gonna leave in the pot till he's about this high and transplant him in about a month from now into the ground, which will be on the next update video for the next month's seed bank box planting video. I've got the current month's seed bank box. This is March, our 2nd box. Oh my God. Are you guys excited?
Super excited, yeah.
Okay, so I got my hori hori here, which I use as an all-purpose gardening tool. And let's open it up and I'll show you guys what's inside the box. What's in the box?
Open it.
Okay, here we go. Oh, it looks so good as always.
Nice.
I know. I did not design the aesthetic experience, but I hope you guys appreciate the experience of opening up the seed bank box because we put a lot of time and effort into making it hopefully artistic and kind of fun for you. It's garden time, dig in. Let's open this thing up and we'll see through the brown paper, which is supposed to look like compost. Let's put the seed bank box to the side. and let's see what's in it. The first thing you'll notice is that we upgraded the professionalism of our information cards. So you guys definitely check out the cards, and I hope you guys like the info that's contained within them. Every month with our seed bank box, I put a custom message, kind of a mission statement for that month in the box. So this one says, message from Jake. Hello to all my gardening friends out there. All of life is about trying to balance yin and yang. Hot is only hot because there is cool. Light is only light because there is dark. Water balances fire. Woman balances man. The spring is wonderful because it pulls us out of the winter. All of life is yin and yang. It is now spring and yada, yada, yada. Get your seed bank box to read the rest. Okay, it's about balance. And we have to achieve a balance not only in our own life, but also in our garden. So read the rest of it when you guys get your seed bank box. This month, there are more seed varieties than there were last month. We're trying to make the boxes improve every month. So the first one here is Black Beauty Zucchini. And there are directions of how to plant it and a little bit of information about the fruit. The next one is a Blue Boy Bachelor's Button Flower, which are edible flowers that also are good at attracting all the beneficial bugs. The more edible flowers I plant in my garden, the less pests I have, because they bring in the beneficial pollinators that scare off the pests like aphids and stuff like that. Bachelor's Button are also so colorful, and I put them as a garnish on all my salads and in my smoothies. Next one is a radish, because if you guys are a new gardener, you can boost your green thumb and your confidence and your street cred with radish, because they're very easy to grow and they're very quick to grow. The fourth variety is Crosby's Egyptian Beet. This is from my own garden. It's a desert willow seed. So these are one of my favorite trees to grow in my property. It's a native to the Sonoran Desert, and it grows beautiful orchid-like flowers that Native Americans, the indigenous people of the Phoenix area, used to use as medicine, as like an antifungal. They also use it as an antibiotic because they make tinctures out of the leaves and the flowers. So do some research on the edible and medicinal nature of the desert willow, and you've got a few seeds you can plant, which we're gonna plant today in this 1 gallon pot, nurse it into a little tree, and then plant it somewhere in the yard. So if you guys subscribe, we'll grow this tree together. And the seeds are so cool. They have these little fuzzy kind of membrane around the actual seed. It's so interesting to me to see how every plant has its own way of propagating itself, right?
Feels like eyelashes.
They totally do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Next to that, we have Swiss chard, rainbow Swiss chard, which is one of the staples in my garden. The leaves look very similar and the seeds look similar to beets. We then have a patty pan squash, and this one's called a Benning's Green Tint scallop squash. You'll hear it called Saturn squash, scallop squash, patty pan squash, or flat zucchini. And this one is quite my favorite kind of squash. It's so delicious, especially when it's picked young. But it grows into a huge bush, so we're gonna need to plant this and give it some space to grow. So I'm gonna plant it here and try to train it to go up my trellis. We'll see what happens. And lastly, we have glass gem corn. This one is a really unique variety of corn that grows kernels that look like glass jewelry. So it's striking. We can't plant the corn in this raised bed. We need more space for it. So what you guys will see is after I plant these seeds, you're gonna see Brandon and I make an area for the corn. And so that's what it's gonna look like. Let me open up the packs and I'll plant these seeds with you guys right now. Are you guys excited?
I'm excited. Let's do this.
Thanks for being in my video and giving me some emotional support.
Of course.
Okay, I laid it out and created my infrastructure. I'm gonna put a row of radish right here, the crimson giant radish. I'm gonna put a row of Crosby's beets right here, a row of the Bachelor Button flowers, blue edible flowers here. I'm gonna put all the green tint squash along the trellis. I'm gonna put the zucchini right here and give it a lot more space because zucchini grows huge, and you really only need to get 1 or 2 successful zucchini plants because they become such a heavy producer of fruit. They're really amazing. 1 zucchini plant, feed the whole neighborhood.
Nice.
Or at least your friends.
Cool.
You know? And then the chard, I'm going to put the chard all in front here so it can be beautiful and kind of hang over the edge. Here's what the radish seeds look like. And excuse my gardening hands, I have really been gardening. I've been in the pond all day and my green thumb is literally coming out of my skin. You know what I mean? So here's what they look like. They're radish seeds.
Cool.
Radish are pretty easy to grow and they're fun to grow, and radishes you grow in your own soil especially if you use the Mace's Mix blend of soil, are so much more nutritious and potent in terms of taste. So we're gonna just use the same rule as last month. Don't put the seed too deep. Shallow is better. Of course, the right depth is perfect, but if it's too deep, they could rot. They'll never see the light of day. So usually put the seeds the same diameter under the soil. I'm gonna put them right up against my Iatoi onions, which they're growing really well. Look at these Iatois already growing their chives on top. And we started with only 1 Iatoi per hole. Look at how this one's already 2. And this one's already 2. And this one's already 2. Soon they'll be like over 30 or 40. I'll never have to buy onions again because I'm growing these Iatois. I'm gonna give about 8 inches of space in between the radishes and the onions. Let me pinch, I'm gonna put 3 radish seeds in each location just to ensure that at least one of them sprouts. It's about that close together. And they can be pretty close together. So I'm gonna go just about 6 or 8 inches apart for each cluster of radish. Greenie's garden, what do you guys think?
I'm amazed right now.
It's like watching my tortoise eat food. It's like the most boring form of legitimate entertainment ever.
This is better than TV though.
I really enjoy it. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, some people take drugs to relax. I just plant seeds in my garden and
I just garden.
it's very relaxing to me, you know, to be out here and doing
Right.
it.
I agree with you.
So now I'm gonna just kind of push these guys under a little bit with my finger, just like that. Because I can still, I don't know if the camera can see them, but I can see them. And then once they're kind of pushed in, they're kind of nestled down into the dirt. I just kind of go like this and kick some soil on top. And as long as they're covered a little bit, they'll be good to go. And as long as I put netting over this and block it from birds, we'll be good to go. So I don't really need the rest of these. I can save them for somewhere else in my garden. So I'm gonna put my extra seeds back into my package here. And I'm gonna plant these somewhere else in my garden. And I'm gonna use my seed bank box as storage so I can put that back in there to stay organized. Next I have the beets, Crosby's beets. Not Bill Cosby's beets. I don't even wanna go there. But these are really cool. The beet seeds look really amazing. And I always am kind of mesmerized by the look of the beet seeds. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna put the beets kind of a similar distance apart. Maybe I would say 8 inches to 10 inches away from the radish. And again, I'm gonna put 3. I'll choose the healthiest one when they sprout, because when the beets are thinned out, they just grow a better beet. And I would say, from my experience, 8 inches apart is all you need for a beet. I'm gonna stop here because along the trellis here, I'm gonna put the green tint scallop patty pan squash. So let's just nestle these beets in there. Push them in. And then I'm gonna kick some dirt on top. And now the beets are in, I'll save the other ones for somewhere else in my garden, and I'll put them back inside of my lovely storage box here. Okay, in the blue envelope is the Bachelor Blue. These are flowers, so they look different than vegetable seeds. Look at the look. They're really cool. And it's kind of windy today, so at any moment the wind could blow these out of my hand because the wind is so good at propagating flower seeds. It's almost like they're built to get carried into the wind and go somewhere. So we're gonna take a few of these guys because they can grow pretty large plants. I'm gonna give them about 1 foot to 1.5 foot of space away from the beets and the radishes. I'm sorry you guys are just sitting back there, but thanks for, I love the spirit. I got some extra seeds in the seed bank box. I'm gonna use about 5 or 6 seeds per location. And that way I'm ensured that I'll get one that will grow really well. Throw some dirt on top of there. And just kind of let them.
It's that easy?
Dude, it's that easy.
That's insane.
It's actually not that easy, but over time, you'll develop your style of planting seeds, and like anything else, if you just love it and you practice, you'll get better at it. And there is a correct way to do it, but if you look at any professional athlete, they all have good fundamentals, but then they have their own style.
Right.
Not every golfer has the same swing. They all have different swings. And every gardener has their own different style. So this is the Jake May style.
All right.
Next we have the zucchini, and the zucchini needs a lot of space. You can even plant a zucchini in a pot like this and then let it kind of hang over the sides. So I'm gonna put just 2 locations of zucchini. When I first began gardening, I planted them everywhere. I wanted to make sure I had a successful one, and you really only need 1 or 2. So they're bigger seeds. If my mom was here, she would go, "That's what I'm talking about." I'll do a video with my mom one of these days. She's my kind of original gardening inspiration. 1 zucchini plant here. I'm gonna put 3 seeds in each location. And then let's put 1 here. So they'll be about 1.5 feet apart. And you'll see in about a month or 2 from now, this will be a very full box. So if you have more space, feel free to spread it out a little bit. Let's push these guys down there. I would say 1/2 inch to 1 inch beneath the soil. And then I'll thin out the less worthy ones and I'll leave the most worthy one. Let's cover them with dirt and they're in. Okay, I have the rainbow chard. Now look at how the rainbow chard, the seed looks the exact same as the beet. Isn't that funny? They're in the same family of plant. Just that the chard doesn't grow a beet, but the greens on top look the same too. So I'm gonna line these chard seeds at the very edge right in front. Just do 2 seeds per location because they have a really high germination rate. We'll have a ton of chard growing right here and it'll be a thick patch of chard. And let's bury these guys. The last one for this bed is the green tint scallop squash, aka patty pan, aka Saturn squash. And these guys look similar to the zucchini because they're both in the squash family, but they're a little smaller, a little more circular, not quite as oblong. I'm gonna put these guys right against the, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give these to Greenie's garden, and you guys plant these on your side of the trellis, right over here. Maybe just do, I would say do 1 plant every 1.5 squares. This bush gets big, so I would give these patty pans about 18 inches apart of distance. Okay, in my opinion, these seeds should be about 1/2 inch beneath the soil. And if you guys look how Brandon put his into a hole already, Alyssa kept hers above the ground. Either way is fine. And we have them about, I would say, 18 inches apart. I really think that a 1 square foot of distance is too close together for these squashes. Go for it, cover it up.
Professional over here.
Beautiful. And now this bed is totally done and it's in, ready to be watered. Let's bring the hose over and water it right now. And then after this watering is done, now I will set up my 1/4 inch drip irrigation line on my timer so that this bed can be part of the same watering irrigation infrastructure as my other garden. Water is the catalyst that will bring life to this soil. I'm gonna make a prediction that the seeds we just planted in this half will catch up to those ones because the weather's so warm now. It will make this side grow so fast. We're done with this raised bed now. And now you and I are gonna do a couple things. We're gonna plant the desert willow in the pot.
Cool.
We're gonna make an area for the glass gem corn. And we're gonna go transplant the tomato seeds somewhere. The tomato plants.
Okay.
From last month. So if you guys wanna stick with us, Brandon and I are going to time lapse the next part of this video. And we're going to build an amazing area for glass gem corn. We're halfway there, and before we go any further, please down below in the comments say thanks to Pam, because the reason why the seed bank box is getting mailed to you guys in a punctual fashion. It's super professional, it looks all nice, it's aesthetically pleasing, it functions like it should because of Pam. I'm just planting the seeds and choosing the seeds and telling you guys about it, but Pam is making it an incredible experience. Now, I believe in the no-till gardening method, which means don't disturb your soil, but this area is in the ground and some of this is clay. It's been here for a while, it's kind of compacted. So I'm gonna till up just the top couple inches and then mix in a bunch of compost and worm castings and rock dust with it and coconut coir to make it much more favorable for this corn we're gonna plant. So I'm gonna just kind of do a little bit of breaking up of the clay, and I'll meet you guys back here in 5 minutes. Guys, what do you think? Is it looking like another garden area? We're making a little corn zone. What corn likes to do, I'm no corn expert, but I have a little bit of experience. What corn likes to do is it likes to pollinate itself with the air. So if you plant just a couple corn plants, you won't get a good crop. You'll get some good looking plants maybe, but the corn needs to be in a cluster, in a grouping. It likes being all together with its friends. So when the wind blows, that pollen can hit the different corn stalks and it can cross-pollinate with itself. So we're going to plant this entire bed out with corn. Then, in an upcoming seed bank box planting video, we're gonna have some climbing beans. I'm gonna plant the beans in there with the corn, Native American style, where the beans can climb the stalks of corn. I have some extra Iatoi onions that a friend gave me. I'm gonna plant Iatoi onions around the perimeter of this bed, so there'll be 3 different crops inside this new bed. And then of course I gotta go find a way to feed some irrigation water to it so I can go to vacation and this garden can be easy to be taken care of while I'm gone. So now that we've mixed in some of the composted wood chips that were here, we left a few of the really broken down wood chips that have been composting for a couple years. We left them in the soil. We got some native dirt in there, and we've got, when you say I saw Brendan and I pull that blue tart of soil here, that's soil from a different garden I had that already had rock dust in it. It already had coconut coir in it. It already had worm castings and compost in it. So right now I'm gonna add just a little bit more. We're gonna start with 2 bags of worm castings. Try to get locally grown worm castings. These came from a local nursery we have in the Phoenix area called A&P Nursery, but there's a few different people that grow worm castings locally. Go find a local worm castings grow in your area. Like use Craigslist and type in worm castings in your city, and you'll find somebody local who's growing worm castings. They'll be really high quality. Don't breathe the dust. Wear a mask if you have to, but I've got the rock dust, the azomite here. I'm gonna throw some of the rock dust in here without breathing the dust to add minerals back to this area. I live in a part of Phoenix that used to be a ton of farmland back in the day, like before the 1970s. It was farmland. So I know that crops were grown here for a lot of years, and the soil is probably depleted of minerals. So this way, we just added a lot more mineral content to our soil. The plants will soak that up, and I'll be eating glass gem corn, Iatoi onions, and long beans, which you'll see in an upcoming seed bank box. I don't want to spoil it too soon, but they'll be full of those minerals as well. When I eat the food from my garden, I'll be the healthier Jake Mace because I'm eating food from my yard. At the end of this video, I'll have some other YouTube videos you can click on and watch that will show you exactly how I make the soil and how I build a raised bed. I'm gonna add some coconut coir to this right now, 1 block, and 1 bag of locally made compost. That's the living biodynamic compost, this bed right now. And then it will be the appropriate level and it will have the appropriate ingredients to plant in. If you wanna see me do that, go to the other videos down in the description, comments, or at the end of the video that say how to build the perfect soil. What I'm finding is if you guys want to up your gardening game, make some videos or teach somebody else about your garden, because it will force you to become better and to expand your gardening network. Here's the glass gem corn, and excuse my gardening hands, but that's what it looks like. All different colors. We got oranges and reds and purples and blues, a little bit of an off green, and some little off yellows. We're gonna plant these guys out in the entire amoeba that I just built. Let's go together and plant it right now. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like this new cute little amoebus looking in-ground bed that we made. So I'm gonna divide all these eotoy onions up like this and plant each one of these around the perimeter of this new bed. I'm gonna call this an in-ground bed. Then I'm gonna put a couple of edible flowers in there, like the blue bachelor buttons you guys got in this month's seed bank box. I'll throw a few of those in there. And I'm gonna put next month a climbing bean. It's gonna climb the stalks of the corn, Native American style. So let me plant these glass gem with you guys and I'll show you guys how I'm gonna plant the corn. And if you're a corn growing expert from Nebraska or something, you know more than me, but I'm gonna show you guys how the vegan athlete does it in the backyard garden. I am gonna put 2 seeds per hole just to make sure that at least one of them germinates. And these guys can probably have some more space, maybe like at least 2 square feet of space. So I'm gonna put one here and that's gonna serve as kind of like the corner right there. Then I'm gonna just estimate, I know a lot of you engineers out there will use your rulers and make this a little bit more mathematical, but I'm gonna just go about, I would say about 1.5 feet or so back and put 2 more right there. And just keep going, and if you guys keep watching, I will time lapse this for you. And I'll come back to you in 5 minutes when I got them all laid out, and I'll show you guys how my little soldiers are laid out. Okay, and again, I always like laying them on top so I can see my spacing and how the seeds look. I'm just gonna do a little bit of a push right there, and maybe about a 1/2 inch or so under the soil. And these guys back here, another 1/2 inch under the soil, little push. Again, too deep, you might suffocate them. So err on the side of too shallow, because you can always sprinkle a little more dirt on top later if they look too shallow once they've sprouted. And then I'm going to, again, put some stakes in the corner here and put a bird net over this so that my little pterodactyl dinosaur finch birds won't come in here and eat all the corn seedlings in a couple weeks when they sprout. Now that we have temperatures in the 80s during the day and the mid to upper 50s at night, this corn will germinate just fine, and I'll come back to you guys next month with an update, hopefully of nice little corn plants. I'll be really excited when I harvest the cobs with you guys here on my Vegan Athlete YouTube channel. Come down here, my treeple, into the corner of my new garden. I got these tomato starts. And the sad part is that I'm only going to keep 1 because I only need 2 more tomato plants. I already planted out about 40 tomato plants this year. But I wanted to plant these ones from seed because the other ones I got as seedlings from my friend Suzanne Velarde, who runs VelardeGardens.com. She grew them 2 months ahead in her greenhouse, and now I got to jump on the season. So these guys were grown from seed by me, and we'll see if I can get them to produce tomatoes in front of you guys before the intense summer temperatures hit. So I just pulled out these guys, which are the less worthy of the ones in this pot. I'll throw them down there as mulch. And this little guy was less worthy. So sorry, buddy, you guys are gone. And that guy's the worthy one. He's the one that is looking pretty good. He's got his second set of leaves coming out there. And actually, he's got his third set of leaves coming too. So we're gonna just put 2 tomato plants in this area right here, which I'm hoping will get a little bit of shade from this mesquite tree above me and will survive the intense summer heat temperatures of the Phoenix area. Every city in the country has their own challenges for gardening. And in Phoenix, we get sub-freezing temperatures for about a week out of the year. And then we get the most intense heat you've ever had. So here's my tomato plant. Look at how the roots are already reached the bottom of the soil ball here. Pretty cool. And that's the yellow pear cherry tomato heirloom. We're gonna put them right down here. And normally I plant my tomato plants well below the soil, but since this guy's a little baby, I'm gonna just put him kind of right there and be really gentle with him and nestle the new soil right up against him. And now, oh, look at how cute, this little cute tomato. And our threat of freeze temperatures is now totally past. So I can plant this guy with confidence knowing that he will not freeze. I'm gonna go get a little tomato cage that will go on top of him so that when he gets about a month from now, he'll be able to rest himself or herself on the tomato cage. And we'll do it again right here with these guys. Check it out. There's 2 that are less worthy and 1 that is worthy. Can you pick out the one that's worthy? I'm gonna pluck these 2 guys out and save that one. And again, he's got the roots at the bottom. Looking pretty good. So here we go. We're gonna dig a hole and have these guys be about, I would say, 1.5 feet apart. And then I'm going to make sure that the corn is at least 2 feet away from these guys, because I've found in my experience that tomato plants like to have a little bit more space because they do bush out unless you prune them in a way to trellis them or something. There we go. There's my 2 yellow pear cherry tomatoes. And now I gotta get this pot right here, which is a 50-50 mix, again, of coconut coir and some locally made compost, which hopefully will be the right mix so that I can successfully germinate some desert willow. This will be an experiment between us because honestly, I have desert willow here at my home, but I've always got it already as a 3-gallon tree. So this will be my first experience growing desert willow from seed. Let's experience this together. Like Alyssa said yesterday, they look like eyelashes. And we're gonna lay those eyelashes right there so you guys can see them in the dirt. I'm gonna put 3 right there. And we'll see of those 3, which ones actually grow. And I'm gonna save the other ones for later in my seed bank box as storage. I'm gonna do just about 1/4 inch. And then I'm gonna just take some dirt from in here and just kind of sprinkle some dirt on top of those guys there. And I'm gonna water that, keep it in a kind of a warm spot. And next month when we do the update, I'll see if we've got little desert willow starts. Thank you guys for showing an interest in gardening at home. I really hope that you guys enjoy your seed bank box. The most fun part of doing the seed bank box so far for me has been that you guys are really getting excited about receiving your boxes, and you've been posting the box and the contents and your experience. You've been posting it on Facebook and YouTube. If you guys make a YouTube video about your seed bank box experience, I will definitely watch it. I will definitely like it, add it to my favorites, and I'll comment down below, and I'll possibly even share it on my social media. So definitely share your seed bank box on whatever social media you have, and then let me know it's up there, tag me in it, or send me a message. I would love to see how you guys are planting and enjoying your seeds. Go vegan and grow that food at home, and until next time, I can't wait to show you guys what April's seed bank box will have. I think it's the best box yet. We've already started putting it together, and I know that you guys will enjoy seeing what seed varieties we picked for you guys for next month.